What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rewind here on Wayward World Studios. I'm Thumali. That's Thumal. I am your host. And today we have something very special for y'all today. No more drag queens today. I'm very excited about that. For the first time on the show, we have a full-fledged DJ in the house. If you're in the Seattle area, you might recognize him. You might recognize the name. In a lot of the areas and stuff like that, specifically a queer bar every Friday and sometimes Saturdays. But he DJs everywhere here in the Seattle area. I say here as if I'm in Seattle, but I'm not. I'm from Spokane. Put your boots and cats together for DJ Memo. How's it going, DJ? Memo. No, why did I call you DJ?
You call me DJ Memo. The crowd goes mild.
Yeah. Well, I called you like DJ, like that's your first name. Like that's what it's like, oh, his name is DJ. No, it's Memo. How you doing, Memo?
I'm doing well. And you know what's so funny is that happens to me all the time. People will be like, DJ, and I'm like just walking and they're like tap me on the shoulder, like, you didn't say hi. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what did you say? That's not my name.
Hey.
Memo I respond to. Memo, that one I can do. Or Memo. Some people say Memo, and I'm like,
That's what I
oh,
was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask. Like, how often do people call you Mimo?
oh my gosh, all the time. And usually it's people that don't know me. But the other day, someone introduced me as DJ Memo and that
Mhm.
I've known for years. I was just like, you know my name's Memo. It's
Okay.
been Memo. So, it happens. I'm one of those people that like my last name's hard to pronounce and like I feel like any names that I choose to represent myself as are hard to pronounce some way or another. So like I've just gotten so used to it.
If you're comfortable, what is your government name? Because it's like it's hard. It's not out there. Like at least I couldn't find it.
Wow. My first name's Nick. That's pretty easy. My last name's a little hard to pronounce. We'll keep that under wraps for now.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can have
my
me back.
last name. Well, my last name's Al Thumali. There you go. Like, is it harder than?
That's harder to pronounce than mine. Okay, I'll just tell you. My last name is Lozier, Lozier, but a lot of like written out on the page, like growing up, people would say it all different ways. And like
Okay.
I had a teacher once, a Spanish teacher, that was like, I also speak French and you pronounce your last name wrong. You're saying it wrong. And I'm
Uh,
just like, well, okay, but like
that's how
that's
you
the way
pronounce it.
that my entire family says it. So like who's really wrong here? Whatever.
No, that's wild. That's why, like, because like I do drag. I'm a baby drag queens, and Al Thumali is my last name. And specifically, I don't use the prefix. I just do Thumali. Um, but like I spell it out so people know how to spell it. Like that.
Yeah.
That's like my RuPaul entrance line that you just heard right now. My name is Thumali. That's Thumali, and then dot dot dot.
There you go.
So I figured out
Nice.
like we have
You
the
got to get
brand.
a little jingle to it, and it'll stick in everybody's heads for forever.
Yeah, how have you been? Because like you like DJing like all over Seattle. You must be like,
Huh.
how do you like survive?
Well, I have two partners that help me in all the ways that when I'm busy, um, they really help support me. Like if I have gigs, I have two partners, and I like to tell people it's great for when I have to bring a lot of equipment to gigs because then I have two people to carry things for me. I can't do that part, I'm too dainty,
Oh, that's fair.
feminine.
Yeah. Now, when you say partners, like
Yes.
your actual like partner, or like
Yeah.
these are your okay? There we go.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I moved here with one of my partners. We've been together almost 6 years now,
Oh,
and
lovely.
yeah, we started dating another person, both of us dating him, almost 2 years ago now.
Mm.
And like we live together now, and we've really gotten into a good groove. So I work a non-traditional job, obviously, because I DJ full time. So I'm always working on like nights and weekends and stuff. And the two of them, they work more like traditional 9 to 5s. So it's like it works really well because like during the day I can get stuff done if I'm not busy. I can get stuff done around the house. I can go to the grocery store or whatever. And then if I have something that I need help with on the weekends, I can be like, I know you're not busy. You're gonna help me, please.
Yeah. Well, that's so sweet. We love polyamorous. We love polyamory. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, Memo, tell the wayward artist out there, who is DJ Memo?
DJ Memo is a local DJ here in Seattle. As you mentioned, I'm over at Queer Bar every Friday night. I love working there because I love getting to work with drag queens. I've gotten to meet so many different queens from out of town, gotten to know so many of the local queens through this position. And yeah, you can catch me playing like pop music. I love to play house music. I love some hip hop, some R&B, some disco. I have a lot of different planes of existence when it comes to like the music that I like to play. It very much depends on the venue, on the space, but like if you follow me on Instagram at it's DJ Memo, wink,
No,
you will be able to see where I'm at. I have a bunch of shows this week. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but
probably not this week, that's for sure.
no worries. Well, you'll catch me around. You know, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm pretty terrible at social media, but I do manage to at least post once or twice about an event before I go to it.
Yeah, yeah, you
So
have your
yeah,
little
that's me.
yeah, you have your little calendar that you usually play. Where can you find DJ Memo? So that, like,
Yeah,
that's very helpful.
you know, it is, and I haven't put one out for March yet.
Yeah.
I should. I graphic design is not my passion.
Hmm.
Last month I just wrote because I write everything on sticky notes,
Hmm.
so I just write down all my gigs on a sticky note. Otherwise, I will forget. I have to write it down three different places to remember something
Oh,
typically.
nice.
So last month, I just took a picture of my sticky note and put it on my story, and I was just like, "Here's where you can find me."
Mhm.
And then I wrote something else. I was like, "Is this like dumb? Should I have like done a whole thing?" And so many people responded. They were like, "Honestly, this is so much better because you can update it and just like do it weekly, and like you can get like different color sticky notes and like make it so, you know, I feel like when because we have so much digital content kind of always being at our faces." That I think now people are kind of reverting to the other way where like we want to own like more physical media and we kind of just want to see someone be more in the real world than like you know it's not like my Canva skills are that great you know it's not like it's that much of a shift in quality of content.
Oh, that's fine. I'm the total opposite. I love graphics design. If you saw like the thumbnails for recently, we've just been updating everything for the Wayward World Studios, like new update for the show, and we have this Y2K aesthetic. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's the best that the thumbnails have ever looked in like the 5 years I've been doing podcasting, and I'm very excited to like design your thumbnail eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, I might have to hit you up on that then because I
Okay.
was looking through your Instagram. The Instagram's very, very solid. And
Okay.
you know, I went to school for like public relations and communications, and I am still terrible at social media. I don't like graphic design, so for a while I've been like, maybe I should ask somebody to help me with this, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Throw a little coin their way.
yeah, well, maybe, yeah, I would be down. I mean, hey, you're on my show and you're on it for free, so I will do whatever you want for free.
Oh, hey, I am happy to talk about myself for free. Don't worry. I can do
Absolutely. Now, because you said your name was Nick, but
that.
you go by DJ Memo. Where did
Yeah.
the DJ Memo come from? That name? Because like I was reading some of your like Mixcloud, SoundCloud. I've been listening to some of those, and
Yeah.
obvious, obvious. Well, the SoundCloud not too much, but you do. There was some funny ones on the SoundCloud we'll talk about, but you mentioned that Memo is like did you get the memo? Obviously,
Exactly.
but why did you choose that name?
So I came up with that name in 2019. I was exploring some like kink stuff, and
Oh.
yeah, I know it was getting a little spicy early, but I was exploring like the like pup play side of all of that, and I got really into it. I still am a little less so, but it's still a part of me, and so that was originally like my pup name. And
Oh,
so when I started DJing here, I kind of had to come up with a name and like create an Instagram like rather fast. Like it all kind of happened at once for me here. So I really just was like, well, so many of my friends here in Seattle already call me Memo that like I should just roll with that and just keep it going that way. So a lot of people call me Pup Memo. Even like some of the queens I work with will
mhm,
like call me by that name instead of I don't care. You
mhm.
know, like you can call me whatever you want as long as you call me, like very RuPaul.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's where the name came from, and it really just stuck. And now I use that name more than I use my government name.
that's
Uh,
fair. I
yeah.
I did not know you're like a pup. I love
Yeah.
pups. Yeah.
Well, Yeah, I love that. It's when it comes to my like DJ Instagram, I often think like how much of that should I put on there?
All of
Because
it. All of it.
you're so right. And so many
Yeah.
people have told me like, oh, you should like DJ in your pup hood. Like
That's
you
what
should
literally
like
I was literally gonna say that.
I've done it at home. I've practiced in it, but like the like nose of it, it very much is like in your way when you're trying to look down at what you're doing. So maybe I just need to practice in it a little bit more. And who knows? We've got Pride and stuff coming up this year. If the right gig comes around, maybe we can do that.
And you're gonna be like not to like talk too into the show or like some of the stuff that you're gonna be doing already, but you're gonna be doing Queer Pride again. So, last year you did it,
Yes.
but you're outside. It's morning. You
Yeah.
know, there you go. That's
They'll either hate it or love it. That's the thing. It's
all
like
the gay people
people.
love it. We love pups. I think people are more tolerant to pups than other kinds of fetish, in my opinion. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong about that, but
It's just a silly fun thing. I don't take it too seriously because like when you look at it from like an objective lens, it's like people dressing up as pups and like, doing sexual things or even non-sexual things. Like it's so silly. Like
Mhm.
some people take it a little too seriously or like, judge someone based on it a little too hard. And I'm like, this is just a silly fun thing that I really enjoy. And like, you know, um, we'll have to see. Queer Pride would probably be a cool place to do it, honestly, because it's 21 plus as well. So it's not like, it's
Yeah,
like I don't go to Pride. Like if I go to like Seattle Pride, like down at the Space Needle or the one in Capitol Hill, like I don't want to go in my pup gear because there are like kids around,
yeah.
and that'd make me feel uncomfortable.
Oh
So like
no,
I don't
valid.
know how their parents would respond to that.
Yeah, valid, valid.
I think kink does have a place at Pride, but for me personally, it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have to think more about it. We'll have to, maybe do
Yeah,
that.
I've always said that like sex is like not the most unserious thing. Like, as long as everyone's consenting and having a good
Yeah, for
time, like
sure.
that's all that really matters. So, but yeah, no, do it. Now that you
Just
mentioned that,
might.
yeah, now that you mentioned the pup stuff, where did Memo come from in that? Like when you were discovering like the pup fetish, like, did you, um, was that your first name that you kind of like cycled through? Or did you have other names in mind? Like, where did Memo come from specifically?
It wasn't the first name that I thought of, but I kind of was floating a couple different ideas out to some of the friends in the community that I had made, and none of them were really sticking. And then I just kind of said memo because I was trying to think of words that were like one or two syllables. I wanted it to be something really short. And that ultimately, like when I said that, all of the people that I were talking to were like, yeah, that's great. Like, because it's like, you don't want to forget. And, I love the attention. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it just kind of happened. I mean, I wish I had a better story for where I got it from, but it was just kind of one of those things where I was just kind of throwing things out there, and that was the one that really stuck. And like, it's still stuck
Yeah.
5 years,
Well,
6 years later.
exploring the pup stuff, maybe it wasn't that exciting, but like realizing that you do pup stuff like as a DJ, like, and like that's where that name came from. That's more exciting. I'm glad we let on from
Yeah.
that for at first. No, that's so cool. I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known that because like I really tried looking up. I really like scrubbed the internet like trying to look for DJ Memo stuff. And there's another guy named DJ Memo out there, and I was like, who's this bald guy?
And he's in Mexico, right?
I think so. I don't know. I didn't look too into it.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about because he has the at DJ Memo on
Oh,
Instagram.
oh,
I'm
dang.
pretty sure that's why I don't have it, which like whatever. I think he had it first, so whatever. But I think he's in like Puerto Vallarta or somewhere like super gay, like in
Okay.
Mexico. So I want to go down and just be like, hey, like I'm also DJ Memo. We should do it back to back. Memo, Memo, and Memo. But like they'll probably be like, I don't
Who
know
are
who the
you?
person is.
No, exactly. As it's a gay person, like
Yes.
we don't need another straight DJ.
That's right. We don't
Yeah,
need straight people for anything anymore. Let's be honest.
valid,
It's
valid.
2025. It's
Exactly.
over.
So, before we recorded, you mentioned you started DJing in like in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, like, what got you into being a DJ?
Well, I did a lot of music production when I was in high school and college. And so I grew up in outside of Atlanta, Georgia. So I started making, I was really into hip hop as a kid. So I started making like beats for my friends to like rap over. And so I have a lot of experience doing music production. One day, someone asked me if I wanted to DJ a party. And I had never DJed before, but me being like 16 years old and confident, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that. Absolutely. And I did it, and it probably went terribly,
Mhm.
but the music that I picked was good, so it went well, and then it made me want to learn how to do it for real. So I got like a small controller and started practicing at home, but I really only did like a couple of parties in high school. It wasn't something that I did a lot in college, just was busy with other things. And then eventually, and after I moved here in 2020. Um, like a year later, I had worked a couple like corporate jobs here. It was hard to find because of the pandemic, but like I worked at a COVID testing site during the pandemic, and I did another job, and nothing was really driving me like to want to like keep learning. And so I was talking to my partner about it, and he said, "Well, you used to do music production. Like, what if you do that?" So I started doing that again, and then I just realized that I just wasn't very good at it.
Mhm.
It's something that I practice still, but I don't know. It's not something that I thought I was very good at. So I was like, I feel like I'm not the best at creating music, but I do feel like, not to toot my own horn, but I do feel like I have good music taste.
Mhm.
So then I started DJing again in 2021 just as a hobby. And then, yeah, here we are.
Yeah. No, that sounds so cool. I've been like I've recently, because of you, I discovered the mixcloud.com. So I was listening to your I didn't even know like something like that existed where you can like put your entire set online and just like
Yeah,
groove out, and like it transitions into all the music like as if you're in a club, like in the club. And I like, you do have really good taste. Like I,
thank you.
yeah, what I really like, and I will say this like definitively because I went to one of the bars here in Spokane after seeing your set, being at Queer Bar and stuff like that, like having a good time. I always come to Seattle once in a while just because I need to like experience queer people. And Spokane doesn't
Yes.
have a lot of that here, honestly,
Oh
unfortunately.
gosh,
But the
yeah.
one gay bar that, well, it wasn't a gay bar, it was during Pride. Um, After the drag queen set that they had a DJ and they played one of the worst songs that I've ever heard. And I was drunk as fuck. And I listened to it and I saw people visibly leave. I like ground. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
this ruined my night. This like
Oh no.
so I was like, I miss Seattle. I miss like grooving out and like being drunk and like listening to, the stuff that they had at queer bars specifically. But it
Oh,
was like a lot of it was like because of you too. Um, so yeah,
wait, what was the song? I need to know what the
it
song
was like
was.
I was drunk, so but it was,
Yeah,
the song was
if
like,
you remember.
it was one of those grunty like dude bro like things. Like I don't know, like it was very grunty. It kind of sounded like Imagine Dragons a little
Oh
bit.
no.
And I was like, this killed it. Like they played like, the top 40 like old songs and like from the early 2000s and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is cool and stuff. But then they played that song and I was just like, it like we went from like hyper like pop and like we're dancing, and then this guy's like grunting like Imagine Dragons. I think it was Imagine Dragons like type
Yeah.
vibe, and I was like, this is awful. This is terrible. It ruined the night, honestly. And a good DJ cannot ruin will not ruin the night for sure. And you're a good DJ.
You are a vibe curator when you're a DJ. Like you very like the thing that I tell anyone that's like interested in getting into DJing or they've started DJing and they want advice, I always tell them like it doesn't matter how technically skilled you are. I mean, you need to know how to use the equipment at the place. That's important, obviously, but like so many people, like you can make mistakes. I make mistakes every single time I DJ, and I'll be like, oh, that transition was awful. But then if you have the right songs,
Mhm.
most people don't notice and most people don't care. They want to hear oftentimes music they already know,
Mhm.
and they want to hear it in a space where they can drink and have fun and dance and be, wild and crazy. So if you're not playing the right music for the right audience, like you're gonna have a bad time. So it sounds like that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, it was a terrible time. I haven't gone since, and I used to go a lot to this specific bar. I don't want to call them. Well, I already called them out, honestly. Like I wrote about I had a good review of their bar because they used to be a gay bar, but now it's like no, they're not a gay bar anymore. Which is very sad, especially since now we only have one gay bar in Spokane. Um, so it was like I had a good review, but like it inspired me enough to like change my review of the place.
You were like, I hate this song so much.
Yeah,
That's how much I hate this song.
and I feel bad for the queens, but like I feel like the queens there, like again, we'll go back into you, but I feel like I'm going on a rant, but like uh they really like just parade the queens around, like they deserve a better space. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shame
ex-
shame on that place.
exactly.
I was gonna go to Spokane this weekend, but now never mind.
Were you actually gonna go to Spokane this weekend?
No. I've been to
Okay.
Spokane one time.
Okay.
Um,
Well, why?
because I was traveling through,
That's what
but
most people say.
yeah, I had my fill, I guess you could say.
That's all. Like honestly, that's all you need. I mean, I'm.
Not to shit on the place that you're from. Oh, can I curse on your show?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not to shit on the place you're from, because I'm from a pretty rural area, and I'm sure people have negative things to say about that. But that
Uh,
doesn't mean that the people that live there are bad or anything.
oh yeah. Oh no, the people that live here have been great.
Yeah.
I no, we shit on Spokane all the time. That's why I'm leaving.
Okay, cool, cool. Work, work. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Jane don't probably has a lot to say about
I
Spokane.
was gonna say you got to talk to Jane about that.
Yeah, no, she knows. She knows the plight, the struggle. She's been trying to get me out. um, so on your profile it says you are a house pop and disco DJ in Seattle. What got you into house pop and disco specifically? Like, who introduced you to those genres?
You know what's so funny is when I was a teenager, I was very like, oh, pop music is so lame. I'm gonna listen to hip hop because, well, I still love hip hop to be clear,
Mhm.
but I never really gave pop music a chance for a long time in my life. It wasn't until the pandemic that I liked hip hop a lot, that I introduced myself to a lot more pop music during the pandemic. Charlie put out her How I'm Feeling Now uh, album, and I was a tacit fan of Charlie for a while there, but that album was really cool to me because it was so experimental. And I was like, okay, pop sounds can still have these like other ideas in them. Also, Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion album. I don't know if you've ever listened to that album,
Mhm.
but it slaps front
Right.
to back. It's amazing. And then house music, disco, I was really just trying to discover more queer artists, more queer music, and like learning about like the queer history of like how many like gay and like even trans artists were in the disco scene in the 70s. And just kind of I want to bring that back because I feel like a lot of people that maybe go to gay clubs a lot or consider themselves part of the like queer nightlife scene, maybe they don't know their history, whether it be like the civil rights movements of like from Stonewall to now, but also just like the queer joy that exists through song. And like so Sylvester is like one of my favorites of all time, and like he was super gay, so that's just an example. So yeah, and house music, I just get so much joy out of a good house track. Like, house tracks often they have, it's four on the floor. It's, we got the hi-hat on the three and the seven. It's, it's very, very boots and cats. Sometimes it can sound like it runs together. A lot of different things, a lot of similar sounds, a lot of similar vibes from house music, but every now and then you find one that's just like perfect, and like you put it in the mix at the right time and it just goes up even if people don't already know it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, like the three that you pick there, like are very gay, which I like,
Yes,
which I really love a lot, and like it makes sense that you kind of want to showcase that specifically in the venues that you typically play at. I love the idea of like showcasing that to people who maybe don't really know much about like the history of like disco, for example. Like I've recently discovered also that like how queer disco is, and like queer and black it was too, like black,
absolutely.
like there was, and the the pushback that disco kind of had. It's like it feels like it stems a little bit in homophobia, a little bit, and like racism, which I thought was like so fascinating. Like music that just brought people kind of joy and excitement. It was about having fun, essentially. Like people hated that at one time.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, disco really started to like fall out of favor in the 80s, right around the rise of like Ronald Reagan and that silent majority type, politics and um music tastes change and trends come and go, but with disco specifically, it does have this feeling of like y'all didn't want to see black artists and queer artists succeed,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a big reason for a lot of the pushback on it. But unfortunately, so many of those people are no longer with us, so I just want to like in whatever way I can, introduce them to like my generation and like Gen Z, like really, show that there are a lot of different artists that you've never heard of that have made some really incredible stuff and that they shouldn't be forgotten.
Yeah, and it seems like that sound has like really make a made a resurgence recently. You mentioned Charlie XCX, Roman. I was gonna say Roman Ruthless.
Roman Ruthless.
Yeah, Chapel Roan specifically.
Right.
That come to mind. Even Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know what her sexuality is, but like the sound that she plays, we're having a really queer resurgence. Beyonce, even though Beyonce is not really queer, she did have that moment with like Alien Superstar.
Yeah.
Um, like what was that
Oh,
called?
the whole Renaissance album.
Renaissance. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
She sampled oh my God,
Yes,
Kevin
Madison.
Aviance.
Kevin
Yes,
Ossian.
Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Big Frida's on that album.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of really cool queer artists on that one.
Yeah. Too bad she didn't get RuPaul. That that would be so.
I think that's for the best.
Listen, I think RuPaul is the best gay like artist, like music artist, like genuinely speaking. Like
Work.
it is stupid music. Have you listened to like the realness, like that song? Feel it,
The
realness.
realness.
Yeah.
The
If you
realness.
if
That
you
one.
yeah, if you read the lyrics on that, real is what you feel. Feelings aren't real. Put your money down. Place your bet. Spin the wheel. That's the lyrics. Real is what you feel. Feelings aren't real. What does that mean?
Absolutely. It
And
doesn't, yeah. What does it mean?
yeah,
Have you listened to her first album with Supermodel of the World on it?
I've only listened to like you better work,
Yeah.
like that one.
So that song, that whole album is very disco,
Mhm.
very, very disco. And it was, I think, like the late 90s that it came out. And so it was really trying to bring that disco back. So
Mhm.
we talked about Jane Don't for a moment. If you ever want to make Jane Don't happy, just sing a song from that album because she goes up. Anytime I play like House of Love or anything like that, she's like,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, she needs to get on the show because she, no shade to Jane, but she said
Oh,
she'll be on it, but she's busy. She's busy.
oh,
Yeah.
she's busy. She's a working woman.
Yeah, come on, Jane. Let's talk.
I'll say something next time I see her.
Exactly. But you also mentioned Charlie XCX. I'm sure you're familiar with Papusa and like that whole
Yes.
like and her Charlie XCX. Were you also part of her brat like she did a brat show, like a brat album release? Were you a part of that?
I think Rowan DJ'd that show.
Okay.
Um, I'm pretty sure I was there, I think.
Okay.
That was the first time that she brought the Lime scooter out and
Okay.
rode the Lime scooter
Yeah.
down the runway.
Yeah, we talked about it. Your episode's coming out after hers episode comes out,
Okay.
and we talk about that. So if you haven't listened to Papooses episode, it was a lot of fun. So,
Oh,
um,
love Papusa,
yeah,
friend of the pod.
yes, exactly. Friend of Seattle, honestly,
Yeah.
amazing drag queen. Um, Going back to you, you moved here pretty recently. What brought you to Seattle specifically? Like coming all the way from the East Coast.
Yeah, so my last semester of college, I got to do an internship where I did basically a road trip from Atlanta all the way to San Francisco. And I spent 3 months out in San Francisco working. I was working for a traveling student film festival. So we were going to different college campuses and like putting on events basically. And I really fell in love with the West Coast while I was out there. It really something about the people out here. It's just a little different. Um, I like to say that a lot of people say that like people on the East Coast are like are nice but not kind, and I feel like people here are the opposite. They're not exactly nice, but they are kind, and that like here in Seattle, like when I first moved here, I'm walking down the street like I'm, in Georgia, and I'm like, "Oh, hello, how are you?" Walking around the street like smiling at strangers, and people are looking at me like, "What are you
Mhm.
doing? Don't look at me." Like we're all very like about our own business here. Like we don't want to be bothered by pretty much anyone.
Mhm.
But I do feel like the friends that I have here will go out of their way so hard to help someone when they need it. So, like I fell in love with just I guess the differences in culture out here. Also, we have legal marijuana out here. That's very nice.
Yes.
But to make a long story short, my partner that I mentioned earlier got a job out in Seattle. We both graduated college at the same time, and he had a job lined up here. Um, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see how this goes, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to move across the country with this guy. I didn't know him that well yet, but
Mhm.
eventually I did. And we're still together. So, I'd say it's going great. So, yeah, that's what brought me to Seattle specifically, but
Okay.
love the West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you see yourself like staying here pretty much like this is home now, or you don't know like with the future and everything like what that holds?
Have any plans to leave anytime soon? You should ask me that question in a couple months when I actually can see the sun for more than a couple hours every day.
That's right.
Because this time of year is really last month is like when it starts to be like, oh my God, I'm
Hmm.
never going to see the sun again. Why
Yeah.
is it raining every day? Like that does get to me a little bit, but the longer I've been here, the more I enjoy it, honestly, because, people like when I told people I was moving here, they were like, oh, you're going to have to deal with the rain all the time. That's what everybody thinks about the Pacific Northwest. It actually rains more where I'm from than it
Mhm.
does here. It's just we get more like thunderstorms and stuff. So, like, it's just a different, but like I can walk around, I don't need an umbrella 90% of the time when I leave the house when it's raining. So like, it's doable.
Yeah,
So I
it's
don't want to leave.
that's fair. It's the sun. I mean, people's attitude and everything like there's just no sun, and like I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very much a fire sign as well. So like I'm in my like I was born in August. Like I love the heat. I like if I go on vacation, I want to go to a beach and like sit in the sun and just enjoy that. So like the parts of the year here where I don't get as much of that, it does kind of get to me, but it's something you learn to deal with. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, just get some vitamin D. I think vitamin D
Yeah.
has like been really helpful for me. I'm from Saudi Arabia originally.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm Saudi, so it not having like not being in the desert sometimes, even like 12 years into living in the Washington state, um, I miss the sun. And like when the sun's out, I'm just like, oh wow, now I don't really want to kill myself right now. Because
No,
there's no like because like every time I don't see the sun and it's dark, I'm like, oh my God. And then like the other day, like I saw the sun, I'm like, wow, there's hope out there. Like I just like remember like, oh wow, this is what sunshine is.
and it was so nice. What was it? It was snowing like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, in Seattle.
And then the next week it was like 60 and sunny here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, it just melts your brain a little bit where you're like, oh, I do like living here. Look, it's beautiful out. It's very temperate here as
Hmm.
well, which
I
I
will
like.
I will say like the best part about Seattle when it is warm and like you just see people out and stuff like that. I was there in like late September into October last year. Um, I fly in because I hate the road trip
Sure.
aspect of it. And I took the link all the way to Capitol Hill and walked around Cal Anderson. And I just saw everybody like in the park. Everybody was like vibing. Texas Hold'em was like playing in the air. There was like a little karaoke truck which I didn't even know that was a thing. Like it was like a,
Yeah.
but it was like karaoke, and like people were just like having a good time. I'm like, dang, humanity right now. Like this is, everything's on fire. It feels like when you're on social media, but like here are people just living and this is like nice.
That's so true. That park specifically is such a vibe when it's nice out because it's a super urban area and you have a lot of younger people, like queer people in that area. And I do feel like the first nice day of the year, I'll walk by Kyle Anderson in like the middle of the day and there are all these people out on like blankets and drinking, day drinking and like don't y'all have jobs? Don't y'all have work? Everybody
Yeah.
calls out of work early that
Yeah.
day. They're like, it's nice out. I haven't seen the sun for months. I'm going outside with my friends right now, and I think everybody does that at the same time, and it's fantastic. I love
Mhm.
it.
No, it's great. Going back to you and DJing, how did you get your foot in the door in Seattle? Because like Seattle's pretty competitive when it comes to like the art scene
Yeah.
and stuff. And you really scored a really good gig with like a venue like Queer Bar, which hosts a lot of like international talent. Um, how did you get your foot in the door with them and like in the DJ scene in Seattle specifically?
The easiest way to say that is pure luck.
Really?
So I actually was already working at Queer Bar, behind the bar there. And I was just DJing as a hobby. It wasn't something that I was exploring that hard, but they had a night that I was working where the DJ that was scheduled was sick and they couldn't come in. And the management there, they were kind of freaking out. They're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this show? Yada, yada, yada. And I just looked at the manager at the time and I just looked at him and I was like, do you want me to go get my stuff? Like, I can do it. Not really confident at all that I would do a good job, but I was just like, it feels like this is the moment to do that. And it worked out, obviously. So yeah, it just went from that to kind of just filling in wherever was needed, and then eventually they offered to have me there on Fridays, do some other shows with them as well, and yeah, it's a great time. I think a lot of it when I talk to people that are trying to get their foot in the door is luck, but also I tell people like if you want to be a part of nightlife, whether it's queer nightlife or there are more like EDM focused like DJ scenes, just talking about DJ specifically, but it really applies to any type of like burlesque performers, drag performers. Like if you want to be a part of nightlife, you have to be a part of nightlife. You have to be out, you have to be active, be visible, and it can't just be okay, well, I came to this show once. Can I get a gig? Can you book me? You have to really show that you want to be not just a person that can get booked in the scene, but a person that has a lot of love and respect for the scene and will go support people as much as they can.
Mhm.
I am a bit of a homebody, so it's harder for me to remember like I need to go out, I need to go support these other queens that I really love that maybe aren't at the bar that I'm at every week. I need to go see these other DJs that I'm friends with, pass on advice or just go out and have a good time and hang out. And when you do that, the rest will start to fall in line. Like when people see that you're a good time, you're a part of the scene, and they have an opportunity that they think you'll be good for, it will come. But at that point, it's just a matter of being prepared. It's about, okay, now that I have this gig, don't fuck it up,
Mhm.
do what you can, do the best you can, and be early, don't be on time,
Mhm.
do all the things that make people want to work with you again.
Oh yeah, no, that's great advice. Like
That
that.
was such a tangent.
Oh no, that's not a tangent at all. You are absolutely right. And when it comes to like getting to know people and stuff like that, like that's what I love to do. I reach out to like everybody when I can, especially like when I'm doing the show like this, which does highlight queer nightlife and stuff like that. Like I want to highlight everybody in queer nightlife, not just the drag queens. The drag queens are easier to get a hold of because they love talking about themselves. But like I love reaching out to other people who do stuff like you, for example. Like you're not a drag queen, but you work in a different aspect of that nightlife. And I love to hear that perspective and like your vision of that and like how you got to where you were and stuff like that. We had Ruby Mimosa on the show. Like she's burlesque, but she does drag, but for the most part, she's a burlesque performer and like learning about burlesque, like there was so much about burlesque that I didn't even know like that was an actual thing. And like the history of that and learning it through Ruby, someone like Ruby, who's like a legend in like the Seattle area. Yeah, I just like that's so cool to me. And like whenever I want to like meet new people, like I just reach out to them on social media. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I think your posts are really cool. Do you want to come on my show and like talk? And they're always, for the most part, say yes. Um, Especially like the TV divas. Like we've had a few Dragula people,
Yeah.
which is very like that's so cool that like even the Dragula, like the famous ones, want to be on the show too. So like, yeah, your advice about like reaching out to people and talking to them and like, that could open up opportunities for them. Like you're friends with a DJ and you're a new drag queen and you need a mix and you don't know how to mix. You reach out to DJ Memo and like, hey, like, can you make a mix for me or can you show me how to do it? And I'm sure you'd be down to help anybody.
I would be happy to do that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've made mixes for a lot of girls because I have the music production background. I know how to properly make a mix, some
Mhm.
might say, because I get so many mixes from so
Oh,
many queens, and
that's
some of them
shade. That's
some of them
shade.
don't sound so good. But it's not like people when you start doing drag, it's not like you think of, okay, now I need to learn how to do music production or I need to learn what a limiter and compressor are because that's not really a part of it.
Mhm.
You know, but just to go back a second, can I just say that Ruby Mimosa is such a good example of what I was talking about?
Mhm.
Because I was so intimidated the first time I met her because she's gorgeous and she's so well known in the city, but she has never been anything but so kind. She's like one of those people you see her out all the time, even if it's not her show. She, as much as she can, she's very busy, but she's out at other drag shows, at the competition that we had at Queer Bar last month. She's out there, and just like being supportive and being welcoming. She's one of the nicest people that I've met, honestly. It's
Yeah.
not fair when you're pretty and nice. It's like leave some for the rest of us. Thank you so much.
Well, you are pretty and nice too, Memo. Yeah.
Stop. Keep
Yeah.
going.
You're like you're honestly probably the cutest DJ up there. Like on the ones and twos or whatever you call them.
See, that's why I can't wear my pup hood while I do it. People won't know that I'm cute.
Hey, listen, the people who are into that, they won't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, that's so cool. That's such good advice. And like the way that you explained the story, it kind of reminded me of like those kind of like those fantasies that you have. Oh, the lead singer is sick. The guitarist is sick. We have to cancel the show. And then you raise your
Oh
hand
my
and you're
gosh.
like, yeah,
It's
I
totally that.
I could do it. And then like you just nail it and you become like a superstar. Like it's basically that. And now you're playing every single well, for the most part, have you played pretty much every single gay bar in the city? Because you've done Massive, you've done Cuff, you've done Queer Bar. Have you done Pony?
There are a couple. I haven't done Pony, but I have a friend there that does Pony, and he keeps telling me to come, do a little back to back with him, so that might happen. I love Pony. That's where I go to drink personally.
Mhm.
Um, I've had talks with neighbors about going there. They're like doing a big construction thing right now over there, so I'm gonna let them do that, figure that out. But yeah, most of the queer spaces in Seattle, I've either been to many times as a patron or have played there. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Have you done brunch at Dreamland? That's my favorite place to go to.
I have. You
Okay.
know, we mentioned her earlier. DJ Rowan Ruthless
Yeah.
does brunch there. I love her, and whenever she can't do it, that's when they ask me to do it, and I'm always happy to because yes, if you're watching this and you want to go to brunch in Seattle, drag brunch in Seattle, go to Dreamland. Dreamland is awesome.
Mhm.
They're so nice. They
Yeah.
they treat the performers there really well.
Mhm.
And so yeah, Rowan, anytime you want a morning off, you just let me know, love.
Yeah. Get those tickets to Dreamland as soon as possible because they sell out.
Yes,
Hmm.
they do.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be there this Saturday. I'm not performing. I'm just going as a patron.
Love that. I'm gonna be there in April, so I already bought my tickets. So I'm very
Nice.
excited. Um, Not to get off topic, but like since you mentioned Rowan Ruthless, like can we talk about like how gorgeous she is? Like at every time, like just everything that she
Certainly
does.
fair.
Like she is great drag queen, and I've seen her out of drag too, and I didn't recognize her at first because but like drag queens, I get like face blind when it comes to like
No, and she looks very different out of drag.
yeah,
I don't know where she lives, but we must live close to each other because I see her on the street every now and then.
yeah,
And I'm just like, I've seen her out of drag a bunch, so I recognize her, but I'm just like, even out of drag, you're just stunning. You're just
yeah,
so pretty. Like, oh, yeah,
yeah.
she's the best.
Good drag queen, good DJ, out of drag, stylish as fuck. Good host. I know she does bang the gong. Is that what it's called? I don't come to the weekday shows unfortunately because of where I am and work and stuff like that. I don't want to use all my PTO, so I
No, that's so fair.
come on the weekends. But I've catched her DJ before. She's phenomenal. Love her.
She's a really good DJ.
Hmm. So going back to you, what has been your favorite show that you've like DJed so far?
Oh my gosh. That is low-key a hard question because I I'm very like once the show is done, I really kind of put it out of my mind. I try to just kind of like separate from it a little bit because I do feel like sometimes DJs will be like, I had a great show. I don't need to do anything to prepare for the next one. I'm good because I did good last time. And it's like, well, that might be true, but it feels like every show, even if it's the same show, the next week or the next month, it requires different level of preparation and like going back and seeing what worked and what didn't. Favorite show I've ever done. I really do like doing MX on Fridays at Queer Bar because I get to meet so many different queens and so many different people, and it feels like it's my home turf a little bit.
Mhm.
So I feel I'm not the most extroverted person in the world, so like that allows me to kind of feel a little bit more comfortable, and so I really do love doing that show. They give me a lot of free reign to play what I want to play because they trust me to play the right things.
Mhm.
But that show I do love to experiment and try new things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I like that show a lot because it's consistent, and I get to meet so many different people doing it. So just off the top of my head, that's kind of the first one that comes to mind. But a lot of the one-off shows I do are fun as well.
Okay. Yo, MX is so much fun. Is it typically called MX? Because I usually been calling it mix, like um
Oh no, they call it MX.
okay. Because like the pronoun like thing, it's
Yeah,
like I was like, oh, mix, but MX. Okay. I think that's where it comes from, but if it's MX, it's
I
MX. All
think
right.
so.
Okay,
I
there we go.
never asked. It was called that before I started. I should ask. Why is it
Valid.
called MX?
Yeah. No, that show's great. The music's always great. You're always killing it. Jane Don't, the host, like always
Yes.
funny, always gorgeous. The fact that she like makes her own shit, like
Jane Don't for Drag Race. Where are we at? World of Wonder. And you're
honestly,
saying,
like
that's dope.
she's like there are some drag queens that are beyond Drag Race, and I feel like Jane Don't, like she's ours. Like everyone should experience Jane Don't, but like she's Washington's. She's I don't know. I think she's way bigger than Drag Race, to be honest.
She would represent us well though, and that's
Oh yeah,
that's what we want to see.
yeah.
And honestly, all the girls from Seattle represent us well. I don't want anyone thinking that I don't, because
Oh
I know
no,
all of them.
I love all of
They
them.
represent us well.
Yes, even Irene, who was only on
Mhm.
the show, even though she was on the show one time, I was proud of her. Like I'm always proud of any queen that gets on that show. I think I know personally, Acacia forgot. We mentioned on the show, her and her partner are good friends of mine. I usually visit them every year in LA. Um, and just kind of like I have a newfound perspective of like queens because of that. But like I've always respected people who like put themselves out there on a television show, how much money it gets into, how much it kind of like fucks with your head in like both good and bad ways, like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just like even if you're first out, yeah, or like win the whole thing, like it's so hard. Like I
Oh yeah.
imagine myself and like I fantasize myself being on there one day, but like I also like I don't know like mentally like how I would be after being on something like that, and just like having to do that. So like props to anyone who like does it. And
It's a
especially
lot. It's a lot. a
Hmm.
lot of emotional labor going there,
Hmm.
like getting ready for it, and then actually having to film it and do it. So, and I love Irene, but she's a huge bitch and she knows it. So that's not going to surprise her if she hears that. But I mean, it's not like we've never seen a first out look that stunning.
Hmm.
Like she looked so good all throughout that episode, that one episode of TV that she's been on.
Hmm. Exactly. No, she was.
She, she killed it. And like really every week after she was gone, I was waiting to see on Instagram. I knew her personally, and I was still waiting to see on Instagram what she would have worn on that episode. And half the time she looked better than, half the cast. Like she looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's really great.
Yep. Maybe we'll get to see her again soon. Hopefully. But I won't go farther than that. But I would love to see her on our screen someday soon. Um, but no, do you think, since you know all these drag queens and stuff, like, has there been ever a thought of you being in drag? Like, have you donned the wig and the makeup like a DJ drag queen yourself?
I never have. I started watching Drag Race when I was relatively young, and it really opened my eyes to like different things about now that I understand is like gender identity and being trans or being a drag queen or being trans drag queen, like you can do both. And it was never something I wanted to do. It was something that I thought looked so cool, but it just never spoke to me as something I wanted to do. You would think that like because I work with so many queens that like if I were to ever do it in my life, like this would be the time. But honestly, I think I touch my face and lick my lips too much to wear makeup.
Oh,
I
that's
don't think that would look good after like an hour. And I work with queens pretty much at least once a week. So for a lot of times it can start to feel like, oh, she's doing that mix again. It's like if people go to shows too often, oh, she's wearing that again. We've seen her in that. But it's like you have to remember, like, this shit is hard. This shit is expensive, and it
mhm.
takes a lot of effort and free time. And to get good at drag, much like getting good at DJing, it does not pay. It does not pay well. So it takes a lot of dedication to do it on such a high level that I feel like a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people that watch Drag Race think that they're experts on drag, and that is not the case. It's just
Right.
not the case.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Sometimes
So
even
no, I'll never do drag.
oh, oh come on, we'll put you in a wig one day. Like, just
If y'all want to get me up in it, I'll do it. But
okay. Maybe
probably
when I
not a career choice.
move there, we're gonna get you up in it. We're gonna surprise everyone at MX, and they're gonna see
That would be awesome.
a crazy. They're gonna see a crazy lady on the. I keep saying I want to say ones and twos. Is that correct terminology?
Yeah, ones
Okay.
and twos work.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see a crazy lady on the ones and twos up there. Her name is DJ Memo. Um, um, going back to you again, because I love talking with you. I love
More
going on
about me?
tangent.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm very curious about queer pride because I've never spoken with anybody yet, anyway, who have actually like done queer pride, and I was there last year, and it is it looks so crazy. Like it is
Yeah.
like just to put something on like that. How do you like? I'm trying to find the right word to say here, but like, what do you feel like going into something like that? Like something that's so big and like that gets so packed and like everybody's there. Like it's basically like this one giant party. Like
Yeah.
what's going through your mind when you're like up there and like mixing and like doing your thing?
I'll tell you, I don't really get nervous very often when it comes to performing because I have a level of confidence, and if I've prepared correctly, then I'm not worried. I'm not sweating it. That show, doing Queer Pride last year, was the first time I had gotten really nervous in a long time, and it went fine. But I mean, it's a good question. Like, I have a little bit of experience as like a stagehand and like putting together events like that. So it was very weird to be like the talent,
Mhm.
kind of on the other end of it. but like I got there early. I got there way too early. And I had DJ'd at Queer Bar for their after party the night before. So I had like no sleep, lots of caffeine, and I was jittery, and I was like, I need to relax a little bit. So I started talking to, the people that were doing the sound for the show, the people that were setting up the stage, and just, just talking to everybody else and being like, oh yeah, I've done that. Oh, very cool. Oh, you do this? Very cool. And made like some really great connections before the show had even started on Sunday. So by the time that I got up there to perform, I felt good.
Mhm.
Um, that I did make some mistakes that set that I thought were terrible, but nobody noticed. You
Mhm.
know, you just have to be confident, strong and wrong.
Yeah.
If you're fucking up, like strong and wrong, just got to push through it and do better next time. So, yeah, that was a big one. I'm really excited for this year. I'm really excited for the talent. I'm going to be there on Sunday,
Mhm.
but the talent the whole weekend is really top tier. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Are you going to do anything like because like you said you're performing on Sunday? Like, are you doing any other gigs like throughout that whole weekend?
I don't
Oh,
know. We'll have to see.
nothing's announced.
No, I have a couple things, but they haven't been announced yet, so you'll have to check the Instagram for that.
Yeah, but you'll probably be there partying with all of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
hmm
absolutely.
Um,
And anytime that I'm not working, I'll be dancing
is there
somewhere.
like of the lineup that's already been announced? Because we all know like Queer Pride is probably going to announce more things and more guests, and obviously you probably can't talk about it. But like of the people that have been announced right now, who are you the most excited to like see or like perform with?
You know, I at first kind of turned my nose up at Rebecca Black being there because
Hmm.
is she queer? I don't know. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But I was like, okay, Rebecca Black, yeah, Friday, I remember that. But I started listening to her new music that she's been putting out. It's really good.
Mhm.
And I watched her Boiler Room set, which is on YouTube, and that was really good. So I went from being like pretty meh about her to being very excited. So, and she's on Sunday as well. So I'm very excited for that. And also Lil Kim.
Oh
Lil
yeah.
Kim?
hmm
Oh, hell yeah. That is, oh, absolutely. As soon as the lineup came out, I was like, she's the one.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't recognize a lot of the music. Like usually when these types of festival, I'm not a like I love music. I love listening to like my things specifically, but I'm not like too well versed in like a lot of music. I know Lil Kim.
Sure.
I think I could be wrong, and I'm gonna look it up real quick. Actually, give me a second. Trish. I want to see if I'm right because um the theme. Oh yes, um, Lil Kim did Trish Stratus from the WWE's theme song, "Time to Rock and Roll."
Oh, okay.
She's the rap bit of that song, and that's how I know Lil Kim. Like I was pretty sure it was Lil Kim. If I don't know if you're familiar with the WWE at all, but like um that I love.
I know a little bit.
Yeah,
I know a little.
Trish Stratus is Canadian legend from the WWE. She is phenomenal professional wrestler. Um, she does stuff sometimes still, but like back in the day, she was like all over it. And Lil Kim sung part of her song, and that's how I know Lil Kim. I'm mostly there for the drag, so I'm very excited to see our local heroes. And I'm also like the legends there. Willow Pill, who I have a tattoo of Willow on my and
Oh, I
yeah,
love
and Sasha Colby. She's right here.
Sasha.
Yeah, and Boston. Boston's like right here. And then
Oh, wow.
I got all the dolls. I love the dolls. And then
Yeah, we love the
this
dolls.
one's Asia Consent from
Oh,
Drag.
yes.
Like
Absolutely.
she's not done yet. So but
Yeah,
like it'll be done by summer. I'm very excited to show it off. But I'm there mostly for the drag queens.
I
But
love.
Rebecca Black also like I don't doubt you for underestimating her, but like I've listened to a few of her songs and she's really good. She's an actual really good singer. But I love Friday. I hope she sings Friday.
Well, she probably will do Friday. She was here last year at Capitol Hill Block Party,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't see her, but I saw her on the lineup, and I kind of was like, meh. But and that was the block party where they had booked Chapel Roan
Hmm.
before she had really blown up.
Hmm.
And so it was like insane how many people were there. And then I didn't get to see her there because I was doing a show, but I got to do a whole chapel like disco set that night, so that was really cool.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, oh my gosh, it's always such a kiki when Queer Pride happens. All these queens from all over the world, come and just hang out, have a good time, perform, and yeah, it's always a blast. Last time I saw Willow Pill was at Queer Pride. She was very drunk, but she was having a very good time, and she
Hmm.
was looking for her friend Cornbread, and they
Hmm.
did help her find her friend Cornbread. I think that was 2 years ago now. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
But she was just having such a good time, and that's really what I love to see during Pride. I like to see, queer people experiencing joy and happiness because
exactly.
that's what we should be doing.
No, yeah, all the time, especially nowadays. It's crazy times right now. Um, like I'm a very big proprietor of Queer Joy, and especially like nowadays. So the more Queer Joy we have, the better.
It's more important now than ever.
And actually, the next question I have for you is about joy, specifically inspiration. We're kind of getting towards the end of the show. I have a few more questions for you, but inspirations. Who inspires you as a DJ? Like, who inspires you to like push yourself to be a better DJ, or maybe someone that like you listen to often and you like take a lot from, in your DJ career.
Well, music wise, I really like there's a couple different like queer DJs that I love to see what music that they're putting out, like Honey Dijon and those types. They do a lot of remixes. But as far as who motivates me as a DJ, it's the other DJs here in Seattle. I try to follow pretty much everyone that DJs at least once on Instagram, and I love to keep up with what they're doing. And I know some people feel like they see someone get a gig, and there's that part of them. It happens to me sometimes too, where you're like, oh, I should have gotten that. I would have done good at that. But like more often than not, I just am so happy. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do great. They're
Mhm.
gonna do great, and I want to be great too. So that means I need to work harder because I don't want to take anything away, but I want to. It's just a reminder to keep pushing and not get comfortable because it's a competitive industry, and there are so many talented, kind, professional, good people out there that do this work that you can't like get comfortable. You have to constantly be looking for new music and trying out new things and, networking as much as you can. So, um, I would say that some other local DJs, just watching them really motivates me.
Okay. I know there's a lot of local DJs, a lot of local talented DJs that are amazing. And it's really like a question that I'm about to ask you is probably going to be a little bit hard on the spot, but is there anyone specific that you can think of that you want to talk about specifically, like as far as like uh, in the local scene? No shade to anyone else. We love everybody. And again, I know this is a hard question, but like anyone that comes to mind, I would love to hear about them.
I will give you a good name. I will tell you, I don't know if you know her, DJ Baby Van Beasley.
Oh, I know Baby Easily.
Yeah, we love her. So when I told the story about how I started at Queer Bar, she was the person that was sick that had to call out.
uh,
And you know, you could probably expect someone in that situation to be unhappy about that, and it was totally the opposite. We had already been talking about, I had told her that I liked DJ and had been practicing, and she gave me so many tips starting out. There's definitely like a stereotype or like some sort of like thing about DJs not being that way. That like if you tell like it's kind of like with drag queens when you're like, I want to start doing drag, and they're like, okay, whatever, get away from me.
eh,
It was totally the opposite here. Baby is one of them, but there were a few people that were just way nicer and way more helpful than they really needed to be to help me get started. And so, because I had that experience, it's something that I like to try and do as well when other people that are starting ask me questions. So, yeah, I would say her. What do you want to know about DJ Baby Van Beasley? I love her.
yeah, I actually have a funny story. I mentioned on Ruby's episode because I'm out there putting my producer hat,
Oh yeah.
reaching out to
Of
people and
course
stuff
you
like
know
that.
baby because you know Ruby and they do
Yeah,
yeah,
Ruby and
absolutely.
a toxic specifically,
Yes.
her wife. Well, like this is a funny story. Like she kind of scared me a little when I approached her last year at Queer Pride. So it was nighttime and everybody like was a little bit drunk and stuff. But I had my producer hat on. I was like, I'm gonna go talk to
Yes.
Toxic and Baby Van Beasley, and see if I can get them on the show. And I reached out like, hi guys, and me appearing as a cis male, man, and they are two women. At night at the bar, the baby came up to me. I think maybe she was just being playful, but like I'm very like I don't read signs well. She looked like she was about to kick my ass. Like she was like,
Oh,
like you know who we are. Like what do you want? What do you want? Like she and like again she may have just been like playing around, fooling around and stuff like that. But like also I am a man and they're women, and so
sure.
like I get that perspective. I'm like, oh no, I love both of you. And like I was talking to Toxic. I told her about her she did the sexy Jesus competition and she dressed as a carpenter and like it whooshed over my head as most things would at first. And I'm like, oh, she's a sexy carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. Like that
Yes.
it makes sense now. So like then we all got talking and stuff like that, and it was all cool and stuff. But baby, she's very nice, but she's tough. She'll protect her wife for sure.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to come between those two.
Mm,
Absolutely. It'd be a bad time for you.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
but
What's so funny?
oh yeah, go
Oh,
ahead. No, you go ahead. It's your episode. What were you gonna say?
well, you mentioned the Sexy Jesus competition. I was supposed to DJ that,
Hmm.
and Toxic was in it. And so Baby asked me, she had another gig. She's like, "Can we switch? Like, I want to do this." So because she has been so helpful and kind to me, I was like, "Absolutely, you can have anything you want. Go for it."
Love that.
So I wasn't there to witness it, sadly, but yeah, I saw the videos of her as Carpenter. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was
Yeah,
wild.
no, that was so much fun. And like she was a baby was so much fun. I like her set during Queer Pride was so good. I think that was the first time I really like got to experience like the baby Van Beasley experience. Like she did the burlesque karaoke, like that's the first time I saw that too. She did a couple sets. She was like really into it. Like she adds a flair of like performative arts like when it comes to like the DJing because like I think she does burlesque. I haven't done my research yet on baby yet, but I from what I saw she did a little like number and stuff like that. I think she made out with somebody if I recall
Right, I
correctly.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, it
Dang,
was
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but I just remember like damn, she's so good and like the music was fired. Like I love baby. But like tell me from your perspective like what's your favorite thing about baby? As like an artist or a person or like
As
however
an
you
artist, she knows how to scratch as a DJ, and I do not. And so when I see people do that, I'm like very thoroughly impressed. And she's very good at it. And so I love seeing her perform. And when she does that specifically, I'm just like, yes, like get it. But yeah, she's just a really kind person, and there's not enough of that in the world right now. So I think that everyone that goes out of their way to be nice and do something for someone that they don't have to do, a little bit goes a long way when it comes to those kind of things. And she's a good example of that to me. Like talk, we get get together every now and then and just talk shop. And she's yeah, she's she's the one. I like her a lot.
yeah and she
I get
hosts
a lot of nice things.
and she hosts her own show. I
Yes.
can't try to remember off the Shipwreck was one of them that she does
Mhm.
often. um she's doing one recently like in as we're recording this week. I can't remember what it was. It's her like it's an emo like a night like an emo show.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a emo karaoke.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And she's a good singer too.
I love that.
And I talked to her. She started out as a KJ, as a karaoke jockey is the word
Okay.
for it, I guess. And then got into DJing that way. So she started that direction and moved into DJing. And now she's like technically a very good DJ. She was I don't think I think it was last year she went to NAM and performed, which is this big it's this big expo conference for like
Okay.
all the companies that make like music gear. So like, Pioneer DJ was there and like lots of other people were there and she was like performing as like women in DJing like at that. And like for a room full of other DJs to go DJ, like you have to be really, really technically good. So she's, I couldn't say enough nice things about her. She's
Yeah.
great.
Now, when you mentioned Nam, I thought she went to Vietnam to like DJ.
Ah.
Yeah.
NAM, it's a conference somewhere. It's NAMM. I've never been, but I would
Okay.
like to go.
I will say I am a very bad baby San because she did DJ a set here in Spokane and I didn't go because
Oh no.
it's, let me
You
tell you,
can go to every show.
well, it's not that. Like, here's the problem with Spokane. Like, and not to go on a tangent, but like everything is like a 10-minute drive. Like, there's nothing that close by. Um, Tickets were kind of expensive. And it's just
Mm.
like to just dance and stuff, like the venue. I don't know if like her show specifically, but that venue charges like $20 to like dance and stuff. And I'm like,
Oh,
there's really
yeah.
not there's not really much going on here. I paid queer bars like whatever fee they have for like a seat, to like
Yeah,
watch. But I'm there for the drag queens. I'm there for drinks. I'm there for the show after. Like I'm gonna be here all day. But like when it comes to just dancing, I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm usually by myself,
sure.
so it's like it's not really worth my time. But and I feel very bad because I saw a baby's name on there. I'm like, oh shit, she's here of Spokane of all places. That's unfortunate for her. Hopefully she had a hopefully she had a good time and it was a good crowd. But I'm sure she did well. But yeah, knowing Spokane and everything, I
Hey, if they want to book me out in Spokane, I'll go. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's totally fine. If you're here, I'll come. That's for sure.
There we
Because
go.
you've
There
been
we
on
go.
my show, so baby hasn't yet. So
Oh no.
we can when baby gets on the show, then um
Yeah.
I'll come to her show in Spokane for as long as I'm here.
Well, it's like you can't go to every show, right? I mean, you can, but then you'd like burn yourself out. And it's not cheap to go out.
Hmm.
I like to go out and support as much as I can, but I'm not swimming in money over here either. So, it's important to go when you can and support people, but there are some shows that maybe are too expensive or just not the right timing, not the right location for you, and that's okay. It's
Hmm.
not, you see people where you can see them and, you meet people where they're at.
And the
That's
place
how I try to do
and the place that she performed at, there's really nothing like adjacent to it. It's like kind of in its own little area. There's like a car wash next to it. I think there's a gas station next to it. But definitely the car wash because it was like one of the bear. Like there's like a bear car wash. I don't know.
Oh,
It's like
the brown bear.
brown bear. Yeah, so like it
Yeah.
was right next to it. Um, yeah, far out, far out. And I'm just like, I don't want to go all the way
It's
up. Yeah, because like if it was downtown, at least I could probably like go to another bar, have fun.
yeah.
I'm also a very bad drunk because whenever I drink, I just like spend money on drinks and I just like splurge.
Yeah.
And it's very bad because like I'm like,
Whenever
yo, go ahead.
whenever I drink, I end up ordering Taco Bell on my phone for when I get home. And so I'm like,
Smart.
this is not healthy. We're already making one unhealthy choice. Might as well just keep going.
Okay, yep. The liver can like work itself out later. I work at a GI clinic, so we have doctors.
Okay.
That's fair. It's funny because we do see a lot of cirrhosis patient. I'm like, oh, alcohol causes cirrhosis, huh?
Ooh,
Like, um,
I'm not a huge drinker, partly because of that, but just like when you work in nightlife and you're working around drunk people, it becomes a lot less fun to want
that's fair.
to want to be that way.
Yeah. If you're drunk, it's fine. But like when you're not and you see it, yeah, it's
Mhm.
annoying. Hmm.
Yeah,
I go to,
it can get old quickly.
yeah, again, not to go on a tangent because I do like talking. I go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood, and I've experienced my fair share of people being way too drunk at these mazes, like standing in line. And I'm just like, Okay, yeah. Are you having a good time? Yeah, I'm not that drunk. Like
Yeah.
I'll have a few, like I'll have a drink or something. But the, what I love about theme parks and I hate is that they very overcharge the drinks, so you're not gonna be
Mhm.
drunk. Like you're paying $20, like or at least $20
For
for
a shot of vodka.
or for like a cocktail or something, and it's just like, and it's like one shot of tequila or
Mhm.
whatever, and it's like not even that strong. So yeah, I know how you're feeling is what I'm trying to say. So we are getting at the end of the show. I would like to ask you the question I like kind of like to ask my guests often. Um, where do you see yourself this year? Like what's in store for DJ Memo? Like what's something that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Well, as far as what's in store, we are working on a lot of different things as far as different events go. Uh, I'm planning on having a very busy June for Pride, and yeah, that's about as far out as I'm planning right now. But something that I haven't done that I'd like to do is be booked somewhere else and travel for a gig. Like
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard to do. I don't even know how to start to go about it other than just blowing people up on Instagram, like, hey, you want to book me to come down to Portland for a show? Or maybe I need to start creating my own show to, start here and then bring somewhere else. That would be a dream come true for me to be able to travel and get while I love Seattle to like go home to Atlanta because Atlanta Pride is in October. So it doesn't conflict with anything going on here, but just to kind of like bring my what I bring to the table as a DJ to other cities would be really fun. And also I feel like I would learn a lot and get exposed to a lot of new music because of being in a different place.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where's one place that you would love to do? Like where's like the state that you'd love to perform in? Like besides like Atlanta, you just mentioned Atlanta, you mentioned Portland. Like are those like kind of the bucket list right now of places that you'd like to go?
Well, Atlanta's great. I don't live there anymore, but I was born and raised there, and I tell everyone that I meet here to at least go visit once. Leave the airport because most people know it as the place that they do their connection when they're flying.
Mhm.
If they haven't been, so Atlanta would be really cool because I'd be able to see family and like friends and all that. Also, I think Las Vegas would be really fun because
Oh,
there are just so many different places there that need DJs that need entertainment. So, and that's probably my favorite place if I want to go get out of Seattle for a little bit
mhm.
because the climate is so different
Oh yeah, for sure.
and there's a lot of fun debauchery to get up to there. So, yeah, I think those would be my top two right now. We'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah. What about bars there specifically? Like, is there a bar that you'd like to play at in any of those places, or is there like a bar that you like and that are not specifically in those places that you know you want to like do a show there one day?
In Vegas, I always try to go to Piranha nightclub. If you've
Oh
ever
yeah.
been to Vegas, it's like the like big gay bar.
Hmm.
It's not on the strip. It's a little bit out of the way, but it's huge. It's like if you've ever been to the Cuff Complex here, it's similar in that it's just a really large place with a couple different rooms and like a big patio. And then you're in Las Vegas, so you can pretty much always be out on the patio because it never rains there. Um, so yeah, that's probably the first place. That's the first place that comes to mind in Las Vegas. In Atlanta, there's a bar called Blake's that is there used to be so many more gay bars in Atlanta, and I'm discovering that all the places that I went to when I was in college are like no longer there.
Hmm.
But Blake's is one of the ones that has like managed to survive, and they do drag, and they play a lot of similar music to what I play at Queer Bar, so I feel like that would work really well. So yeah, maybe I'll hit them up sometime. Be like, hey, you need
Yeah.
a guest DJ? I'm very cheap because I can stay at my parents' place.
Nice. It sounds like you need to take your own advice and like talk to these people. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, like follow a bunch of drag queens in that area, other DJs, and be
Yeah,
like, hey, you know, we're friends now. Do you have any like work?
definitely. I'm a lot better at doing that kind of networking stuff in person. So that's why I always tell people to go to shows that they find interesting. Um, because I mean, it's hard. A big part of working in entertainment is dealing with rejection.
Mm.
And like I haven't talked a lot about that in this conversation, but like, girl, I get rejected for things I want to do all the time, but like at least I asked, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's easier to handle that level of rejection in person than
Mm.
through like text because you can get a lot of the subtext in person where people are like no because I already have something else lined up, or is it no because I don't like your music,
Mhm.
you know? So you can kind of suss that out in person. Over text, it's a little bit harder. So I
Yeah.
should take my own advice and,
Yeah.
start blowing people up.
I've got those email rejections, and from specifically the big some of the big names. Um Actually, I'm gonna talk about one of them because
Uh-oh.
like here's the thing. It's no shade. Absolutely not. I end my email, my cold email by saying like, hey, if it's a no, that's cool. Still respect, still love you, still gonna support. I just thought I'd ask. Um it's funny because it was Sasha Colby specifically, but here's let me finish. Let me finish real quick. It wasn't her, it was her publicist. And that's like
Mhm.
that's the important aspect to this thing. Her publicist said no. But then I met Sasha Colby in person and I was like, hey girl, I have a podcast. And she was like, oh yeah, work. Send me a DM. And mother's busy. Like like I haven't gotten a response back to the DM, but she expressed interest in person in comparison to her like publicist, which I
Sure.
like, which I think is like so funny, especially as someone who's also like a scheduler, because like
Mm.
our providers will be like, oh yeah, we could get this patient in, we can get him scheduled at this specific time, and then I have to be the one that's like, no, like
No, you can't.
yeah, you don't work that day. What are you gonna like? Are you just gonna show up? You're not on the schedule.
So That's so funny you say that. My first job was working the front desk at a hair salon,
Mm,
and that would happen there where like a stylist would want to get, they want to get as many clients in as they can. So they would just go into the schedule and just start booking things on top of each other,
uh,
basically. And I would just go back to them and I'd be like, "What are you doing? Like, you can't cut two people's hair at once." And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do her color, and then while she does." While it's, I don't know if you ever do hair, but like it takes a minute.
oh
It
yeah,
has to
for
sit.
sure.
Oh, while she's like cooking, I'll cut this person's hair or I'll start this, and I'm just like,
We have a
why
system.
I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm gonna handle that for you. So,
Yeah.
it is their job.
No, for sure. Like if our doctors did that, I would have lost my shit. Lost my shit to
I
my
get,
manager specifically, but
Usually it's like it has to be someone you're cool with to be like, hey, do you mind? I'm gonna make a little extra money while I do your hair. And
mm,
if they're friends, it's fine. But if it's random people, I'm like, don't do that, please.
yeah.
They'll be mad
What?
at me.
Yeah. Oh, and healthcare too. You're not allowed to like have those types of relationships either. But like
Sure.
sometimes we do get the, oh yeah, I talked to so and so provider and like so and so provided as my wife is like whatever. And I want to get on
Yeah.
this. Yeah. But yeah. um, but like, and then they'll be like, yeah, he said I could schedule it. We could schedule like a colonoscopy or whatever. And like, well, I have to be like, but like we have like a scheduling system. Like he's not an established
Sure.
patient. Like his primary care doctor is not within our system. Like that's kind of our rules. Like we need to get medical records, and the doctor's saying that he could be seen like next week. And I'm just like, what do we do here? And that's when we get it out to the manager, and it's just like, you know what, just put them on, whatever.
Right.
They can deal with it later. Just put them on.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the publicist was Sasha Colby. Like, that was just so funny. Like, I get it's like her job to like sort her schedule out, but two conflicting answers.
Sasha's she's in Seattle pretty often as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
think her partner's from Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's around every now and then.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it'll happen.
I'll keep harassing her. She knows who I am. She saw the tattoo.
Yes.
Like she like proudly like showed my tattoo to Naisha Lopez when I was there like
Oh,
last time. So like she knows who I am. So that's
she's
cool.
really cool. She's one of those people that like I don't get starstruck often because I work with a lot of people that are like they're not famous, they're like gamous, right? They're
Mhm.
famous to us gays. And she's one that I watched her performance when she won Continental. I watched it on YouTube when I was in like high school.
Okay.
So I had known of her for a long time. So like first time I met her, I was like, "Hi, hi,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but then she's just like really loving and warm and outgoing and puts people at ease. So
Mhm.
she's one of those good folks. So
Yeah. That's mother.
yeah. But mother's busy
Oh no,
and
she is.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes when you have time off, you actually just want to enjoy the time off than
Exactly.
putting other stuff on the schedule. So,
Oh no,
you
for
know,
sure. Let's keep our fingers crossed that she comes on. That would be sick. But no, it sounds like you have a busy year ahead of you. A lot of it you can't talk about right now, but um
yes.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited. Like every time I hear you, I'll be like, yes, I know that guy.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since you like, especially like, because like you followed me after. I think I followed you first, or I don't know how it went, like the order, but I thought it was kind of cool that you followed back. Like, and I kind of like
Yeah.
followed you on Instagram before starting to talk to you and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you a lot.
Oh, well, I'm happy to be here. It's fun to talk about this stuff, and you're a great interviewer. So yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
to talk.
We have our 5 questions, our lightning round questions. It's a series of 5 questions that I like to ask guests each and every week. They're fun. They're not so fast because we'll talk about them forever. And we've established kind of in the show that we're very chatty, talking about other things. So, Memo, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Question number one, describe a perfect day. What is a perfect day to you?
Perfect day. I get to sleep in. I don't have anything scheduled to do. It's nice outside. I can go get a coffee. I can hang out with my partners, hang out with my cats, and do whatever comes to mind. I am the opposite of a planner. I like to go with the flow and just just vibe. And if we're in Seattle, great. If we're somewhere else, even better. I love exploring a new city. That's a lot of fun. Um, so yeah, I like to keep it simple. I don't
Love that.
really I don't really ask for too much there.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Do you and your partners like doing the same things, or do you like doing things with each individual partner of yours? Like as far as like activities and stuff like that.
There's room for both. There are lots of things that we'll all three do together, but there are some things that the two of them will do that I have no interest in doing, and just kind of balances out. But we all have pretty similar interests, so it more often than not, it's all three of us together.
What
Yeah.
is like a kind of a side bonus question because we haven't really talked about your partners. What's your favorite thing to do together? Like, what's your one favorite thing that you like to do together? Uh, oh, you're thinking
I'm
about
trying not
food.
to say a dirty thing.
You're thinking about it. Like I'm trying to be wholesome here. I like we already talked about the pup fetish and everything like that. Like, let's keep it wholesome. Let's keep it sweet.
Okay, fine. I we play D&D together, and that's a lot of fun.
That
So.
helps. That helps. That helps so much having 3 people instead of like two or even one.
It's a good time. I'm new to it. I started playing D&D last year with them, and I've really gotten into it. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Are they big nerds? Do they usually play like with other
They're big
people?
nerds. They're
Okay.
big nerds. They're both big video game nerds.
Oh, I
So
love
we
that.
play video games together as well. There's a game the two of them play together that I have just zero interest in, but I'm like happy to see them do it.
What game is it?
It's called Ark. It's like a dinosaur game.
Oh, Ark Survival. Yeah, I'm familiar with
Yes.
that. Okay. I haven't played it myself, but I'm very into video games, so I'm familiar with that game.
They're
Uh,
really into it right now.
love that. I love that for all of you. And it sounds like,
Yeah,
other things are fun as well, without saying it, without giving.
we try.
Question number two. This might be hard. I don't know if it's going to be hard for you because you're a DJ or very easy. What's a song that describes your life right now? Very curious about that one.
That is a good song, a good question. It's like, what song describes you?
Well, like not you like as a whole person, like right now in this
Just
moment.
like the moment.
Yeah.
I honestly, like with the state of the world, like I just want to pick like a Rage Against the Machine song, just like something that's just like very like counterculture, very kind of like I don't consider myself an anarchist, but very that kind of
Mhm.
vibe. So like I would just pick something from them right now, just because the world's so fucked up.
American Idiot.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And it's like I don't listen to a ton of like rock or like super heavy like aggressive music, but like when I'm in the mood for it, like it hits. It
Mm.
works so well. And that's just kind of with the state of, not wanting to open the news pretty much any point recently, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, for me it's the news. For me it's also like all the posts and like the doom scrolling and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just like, you know what? I'm just like not gonna watch this. I mean, pay attention, stay
Yeah.
focused and like aware, but it gets to be a little bit too much. And
But what's important right now,
just paying attention
well, we can pay attention, but it's also important to put down the phone as well and spend time with people that you love and care about in person.
while you still have
And
time, while you still
while we
can.
while we have time, while we can, and that's how we like really can build solidarity throughout our community is by having like real relationships with all these people that we see and that we work with or see out or watch perform. It takes a lot to hold a community together, and I don't know if doing it on Instagram or on Blue Sky or wherever is the best place to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why queer spaces are more important than ever.
Absolutely.
Like bars specifically and like restaurants and like but like other spaces as well. Um no, yeah, I love that. I agree. The reason I also asked that question for the song that describes your life right now, it's gonna be the thumbnail like song that's gonna play on the Instagram. So
Oh, oh,
American
okay.
Idiot. Like, or did you want to change your now?
American Idiot could be good. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, that's a good one.
Okay,
Um, but the Rage song I was thinking was Know Your Enemy by Rage Against the Machine. That's a good song as well.
all right.
It's yeah, you
There we
just
go.
have to listen to it. It's very good.
There we go. Question number three. What's your third favorite movie?
Hmm, third favorite movie. You know, I I I say that this is one of my favorite movies all the time, but I do consider myself kind of a cinemaphile person. So it's not one that I would like put on my like letterboxed, but like guilty pleasure movie is The Bodyguard,
Oh,
starring Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. The
oh,
music in that movie is so good.
and
The acting in it is good.
slow.
Yes.
Love that song.
Yes, it's not a good movie, but it just like it really just scratches a particular itch for me when I watch it. So I would
Yeah,
say The Bodyguard.
I mean Whitney Houston's amazing.
Oh,
So
she's stunning. She was the
yeah,
best.
she was. Like it's sad that I feel like a lot of people reference her, drug abuse and stuff like that instead of like the
Yeah,
actual like songs that she had. Like, um, I don't know like what her sexuality was like, but I want to dance with somebody. Queer anthem,
yeah,
always love that
absolutely.
song. And I will always love you. Another one, bop of the ages, pretty much. I don't know any. I'm ashamed to say I don't know any other Whitney Houston songs, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Well, I'm from another country, so keep that in mind.
Fair, very fair, very fair. I'm Your Baby Tonight by Whitney Houston. It's a great drag song. Queen of the Night is another good drag song. Basically, go watch The Bodyguard, and pretty much every song she does in that movie could be a good drag number. That's probably why I like it so much.
Okay. See, there's a little drag queen in you. I feel like you could,
Oh,
yeah, there's a
oh,
little.
I love drag. I love like I'm always so in awe of the queens that I get to work with. Like it really is a magic trick, to create an illusion like that. It doesn't seem like something I would be particularly good at, but I appreciate the art form so much.
Let's get you in some lingerie, some like a wig and some makeup. Like and then decide from there if it's gonna be for you or not.
Okay,
and
I'm
then
down.
and then you can put me and like make me be a DJ because I feel the same way about being a DJ. I think it's really cool, and like what you do is like it's more than just pressing buttons and stuff like that. So,
Sure.
but like I don't know if I'm able to cultivate like a vibe like the way DJs do. But then you're probably gonna think like you probably have a little DJ in me.
If you like music and you know how to use a computer, you can be a DJ.
There you go.
It's just like anything else, it takes practice.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'll be a DJ and you could be a drag queen for a day.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll work
I'm
on that.
down.
Um, question number 4. What's your favorite ice cream topping or frozen yogurt or gelato if you prefer those other two?
I'm a big ice cream fan. That's my favorite sweet.
Mhm.
Um, Favorite topping, probably some hot fudge.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
Very good. I like vanilla ice cream with like maybe a little bit of chocolate in there, but I'm pretty basic when it comes to my ice cream flavors.
Mhm.
But then you add the hot fudge on top, it's over. Very
Yeah,
good.
love that. Amazing. I love a good soft serve vanilla ice cream. Like soft serve
Okay.
anytime. It's just it's perfect. Like that's I think I enjoy a good hard ice cream. I enjoy a frozen custard too. Like it's basically ice cream with a little egg in there. Like that's
Yeah.
but something about soft serve. I just it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like the swirls and everything, like the ones where it comes out of the machine and it's like chocolate and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like I just there's something about it that's just so nostalgic. But hot fudge
That's
also
good stuff.
very good. Were you a kid who got the hot fudge that like um hardened and you had to like crack it?
It wasn't something that I really had tried until I was an adult. I didn't drink soda as a kid. We didn't eat a lot of sweets. It was very like, um, a lot more conscious about my diet.
Oh, okay.
Like my parents were before I went out on my own and maybe overcorrected the other direction.
That's fair.
So yeah, it wasn't something that I really got to try until I was older, but I'm gonna have to look into that because that sounds, yeah, to crack it open. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever actually had it though.
I think it was like Schmuckers or something like that
Yeah.
that like that does
Okay.
it. But it was a very big thing out back in the day, let's just say it. Like it was kind of an old thing, but
We're old now.
uh, I don't feel old, I will say. I'm in like 31, but I feel like I'm in my 20s, which is like that's a good thing.
Yeah. I feel old when I'm like, oh yeah, that was in like 2017, like last year. And it's
Oh,
not last year.
no.
Did you watch who was it? Lana talk about how she missed her prom because of COVID on Drag Race last week?
Yeah. That
Excuse me.
prom.
Excuse me.
Like she didn't even graduate high school.
Baby
She's
queen.
on, yeah,
I
exactly.
love it.
Question number 5. Speaking of sweets, this is the most important question of the show. Pick a side,
Okay.
left Twix or right Twix.
I'm just gonna take a bite of both of them at the same time.
No, you gotta pick. That's part of the ad.
Okay, let's do left Twix.
Okay,
Left Twix, best Twix.
okay. Was there a reason why you picked left?
No.
Okay, valid answer. Valid answer. There we go.
I love Twix though. Those are so good.
Yeah, but you're familiar since you're a Twix fan. You're familiar with
Yes,
that campaign, right?
I
Like,
am.
yeah, I
And it
love it.
really got me too. I felt really I'm a bit gullible, but I was like the first time I watched that, I was like, what is there a difference? There's a difference between them now? Like there are two different ones. Like I fell for it. So it was good marketing, clearly. We're still talking about it.
Yeah, they don't talk about it anymore, but like I like to bring it up and remind people that that was the thing. All right. Well, Memo, thank you so much for joining the show. This has been so much fun. You've been such a fun guest. For the people that want to follow you on social media, where can people find you?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at it's DJ Memo, ITS DJ Memo, like the email. And I don't really have any social media outside of that right now because all the social media apps are kind of terrible. So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram to see where I'm going to be. I have my Mixcloud on there if you want to listen to some old sets that I've done. I'll be putting some new stuff on there soon. So yeah, connect with me on Instagram, and thank you so much for having me on. This has been a blast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been so much fun. And then for the people that are listening that are in the Seattle area, where can people usually find you?
I am at Queer Bar on Fridays. I am there a decent amount of time. I'm also at the Cuff Complex fairly often, right up the street. I'm at Massive every now and then. So yeah, anywhere that you hear good music, whether I'm there or not, I'm there. I'm in your heart.
Yeah, and then tip DJ Memo. Tip your DJs if
Oh yes, we
you.
love tips. Absolutely.
All right. Wayward Artist, thank you so much for an amazing time here on the Rewind here on Wayward World Studios. I've been Thumali, that's Thumali, have been your host, and I'm excited to showcase some of the best that queer nightlife has to offer, whether it's in Seattle, Washington State, or all across the world. So please follow and enjoy what we have to offer. You can follow this channel on Instagram, Wayward World Studios. That's pretty much it for as far as social media. I had other social medias, but I like Instagram.
Yeah.
Despite how terrible it is. um, you can like it's the place where everyone's doing their promotion. So what can we do?
Yeah.
Um, follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google. I think Google Podcasts still exist. Wherever you get your podcasts, the Wayward World Studios should be available. And then Wayward Artists, without further ado, it's been real.